What's up everyone, this is SliferKing here, and today you join me for a little bit of a different video because as you can see in front of you, I'm actually using Yugioh Pro, or, well, I can't remember the exact name of the program, but yeah, can't remember the exact name. But yes, today I'm going to be doing something quite different for the channel, I have to say. It is actually a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. So I've done quite a few openings of Yu-Gi-Oh over the past, and the occasional Pokemon and one-off video like Muffin Time. But this is the first time in years that I've actually decided to do a deck profile. Quite simply, there is one very important reason. Well, two reasons. One, this is, I would say, the most tested deck I've ever made. So a lot of testing went into this to see if I could get it right. And secondly, it's the new Winged Dragon of Ra deck. So yeah, I wanted to just do a quick deck profile. Just as a disclaimer, at the time this video goes out, the new set Legendary Duelist Rage of Ra will be out. So a lot of these cards will now be available to the public in actual physical form. So let's go through the deck profile, and yeah, let me explain some of my choices. So first off, God card wise, I'm actually still running a Obelisk the Tormentor, a Slifer, and of course the Winged Dragon of Ra. I'm running 2 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra because you can actually quite often recycle the Winged Dragon of Ra, but I'll get to that later. Now for the rest of the cards, first off I'm running 3 of Guardian Slime. This is the new level 10 Aqua monster. So you want to get this to your hand. So basically the main strategy is you want to get this to your hand. Yeah, you want to get this to your hand, then when a opponent does battle damage to you, then you can activate this from your hand, special summon it, and then you can either use it for Egyptian Gold Slime, or it'll just be a beat stick. So basically it will, once per turn, it will block a attack. Also, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can also add one spell or trap that specifically lists the Winged Dragon Ra, and that gives you quite a few options. Next up is Ra's Disciple. I'm still running 3 of them because of some of the cards in this deck. It means you can use Ra's Disciple's effect, bring out 3 of them, and then you can still go into a Winged Dragon Ra. But yes, I was tempted to take Ra's Disciple out at one point, but considering the amount of times maybe I got a dead draw, sometimes it does come in handy to have a Ra's Disciple now and again. Next up, Reactor Slime. This is another one of the new cards from Legendary Duelist Rage of Ra. So this is basically a jam breeding machine in monster form. So you summon this card, then you activate its effect, so it gives you 2 slime tokens. Then you can activate another effect where you remove this card from the field, and it allows you to gain a Metal Reflect Slime, which of course will help later on with the Egyptian Gold Slime strategy. The reason I'm only running 2 of this is actually because I didn't end up using it as much as some of the other cards, so that's why I decided to use it for 2. But I kept it at 2 because it can be a good searcher for Metal Reflex Slime. Also, I'm running 1 Ash Blossom just as a little bit of a negator. Well, most people run at least 1 hand trap. This is mine. I wasn't originally running the hand traps, but I feel like with this deck you kind of do need a little bit of a defense element, just in case. And finally, now this card is going to require a little bit of explaining. I'm running 3 of Crystal Gull. So this card is currently not available in the TCG as of yet. This card was printed in the OCG, I believe, first as a V-Jump promo, and then also in the Premium Pack 2020. But this card, for me, is actually the true ace of the deck. Let me explain why. So its effect is, when this card is normal or special summon, you can activate this effect during the end phase of the turn. Add 1 level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to your hand. So right there, say you go in turn 1, you got Crystal Girl, summon it to the field, activate its effect, and at the end of the turn you get a Guardian Slime. So you're already immediately into your plays. Also, its the second effect is, while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish... Sorry, misread that. Sorry. So basically, if you've also got Guardian Slime on the field, you can actually activate an effect from Crystal Girl where when this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it at the end when it leaves the field. You can only use one effect per turn. So if it's the following turn, say you've used Crystal Girl, got Guardian Slime, and then your opponent does damage, Guardian Slime's on the field, then in the following turn you can actually activate Crystal Girl's effect, bring it to the field, and because it was special summoned, you can actually gain another Guardian Slime at the end of your second turn. So I think this is pretty good. And also it does help with Link Karibo as well. So those are the monsters. Yeah, those are the monsters. So for the spells, first off, 1 for 1 doesn't really need too much explaining. Basically, search for Crystal Girl. Also helps you get some of the cards such as Winged Dragon Ra to the graveyard as well. So that's not too much of a problem to use 1 for 1, I think, in this deck. Regeki, this is a little bit of a destruction effect because sometimes it helps just to be able to destroy the field. Double summon for those tribute summons when you don't have the next card. Now this, I personally feel like is the other MVP of the deck, Ancient Chant. Ancient Chant makes it that it makes summoning a Winged Dragon Ra super easy as long as you have this card and something to tribute with. So the card is, you can add 1 Winged Dragon Ra from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if you do during the main phase, you can tribute summon 1 monster in addition to your normal summon. Please note this is not actually restricted to the Winged Dragon Ra, so theoretically, actually you could use it if you wanted with Obelisk or Slifer, so it does give you a little bit of variety. However, probably the main reason you will want to go with Ra is because of the second effect. This is where this card really comes into its own. You can banish this card from your graveyard if you tribute summon the Winged Dragon Ra this turn after this after you resolve this effect. Its original attack and defense will become the total combined attack and defense of the monsters tributed for its tribute summon, and you can only use this card once per turn. So basically, you use Ancient Chant to get a Winged Dragon Ra, then you banish this card from the graveyard, and then you tribute summon Winged Dragon Ra, and instead of activating its usual effect where it gains all your life points apart from 100, you can actually gain the attack and defense of the cards you tributed. So if you've got say a Egyptian God Slime, you can tribute it and then you gain 3000 attack and defense. So that's pretty good going. Next up we have Monster Reborn, obviously because it works well with the card later. Part of duality. One of the biggest problems I did find with this deck while testing it was consistency, I have to admit. Well, the two main problems was consistency and kind of defense. So defense was dealt with Ash Blossom, at Regeki, and 1 or 2 other cards later on. But consistency was mainly about the draw engine. Well, as I got less cards, as I got more refined, it did get a little bit more consistent. However, sometimes it's always nice to have a slight draw engine. And because you're not actually doing too many special summons, with the exception of 2 cards, I think it's a good idea to have a pot of duality because most of the time, like I said, unless you're going for your Egyptian God Slime or Link Karibo, you're not doing special summons other than Ra's Disciple, actually. But yeah, I just think it's good maybe being a one-off, so it allows you to get some cards you need. Next up, we have 3 Blaze Cannon, another one of the new cards. I was originally running this at 2, but when I got the hang of the combo of Guardian Slime, Metal Reflex Slime, and Ancient Chant, I decided to put this back to 3. And also, if you use the next card, which is Millennium Revolution, you can get the Winged Dragon Ra, and even if it has 0 attack, you can basically just do destruction damage. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good card actually to run at 3 because you're actually going to be summoning the Winged Dragon Ra quite frequently. So having the Blaze Cannon, so basically it will gain these effects until the end. Also, the card's activation and effects cannot be negated. So the 3 bullet points are unaffected by your opponent's card effects, so hand traps and spells, blah blah blah. When an attack is declared involving this card, you contribute any number of other monsters that did not declare an attack this turn. It gains attack equal. So say you've got Ra's Disciple and the Winged Dragon Ra, so you can tribute Ra to the type and the attack goes to Ra, just like in the actual anime. And then the last one, after damage calculation, if this card attack, you can send all monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard. So that's where the Monster Reborn strategy comes in, because even if Winged Dragon of Ra has 0 attack, you can basically just use Blaze Cannon just to... It's effectively a Raigeki for Winged Dragon of Ra in some aspect. The next card is Millennium Revolution. I think this is actually the only super rare from Rage of Ra from this deck. Yeah, it's gonna be quite difficult to get all the cards. It's gonna be interesting. I've ordered 2 boxes, so I'll see how much we get. Anyway, so I'm running 3 of these because this is basically a Monster Reborn Searcher, and it's also a way to get Winged Dragon of Ra to the graveyard. So you can send 1 Divine Beast, so that'll be Winged Dragon of Ra most of the time. That's also another reason why I've left Slifer and Obelisk in the deck, so it does give you 2 more targets to go for to use Millennium Revolution, because I believe it can work as well. Okay, so no, not the Monster Reborn effect. So yes, you can send 1 Divine Beast from your hands to the graveyard, then you can add 1 Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So it's a Monster Reborn recycler basically, so that's really good. And also combine that with Ancient Chant, of course, that's another recycler for Ra, because it can get Ra from the graveyard. So you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard. This turn you can special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from the graveyard with Monster Reborn, ignoring its summoning conditions. But send it to the graveyard during the end phase of your turn. You can only use this once per turn. So yeah, basically, so the main combo you'd use this with is Blaze Cannon. So you'd effectively send, because you can actually send you can actually send the Winged Dragon of Ra to the graveyard to get Monster Reborn. Then you can activate Millennium Revolution to bring back Ra. Then you activate Blaze Cannon, attack your opponent, and it's effectively a Raigeki. So yeah, that's a pretty decent damage. And finally, the last spell card is Mound of the Bound Creator. Doesn't really need too much explaining, it's basically a way to protect your level 10 and higher monsters, which also include Guardian Slime and Egyptian God Slime. Finally, we get to the traps. So I'm running 3 Metal Reflect Slime. I'm running 2, 1 with a Sun God. This is a decent tech card to have, just in case your Winged Dragon of Ra is about to be destroyed. If you've used Ancient Chant to beef up his attack and defense, so it's attack and defense. Yeah, so it will go. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I never read that last bit. During the main phase, you can. Oh, okay. I never actually noticed that bit. So you can actually special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. I never used that effect. In fairness, what I do use it for is the last effect. Once per turn, you contribute 1 Winged Dragon of Ra, gain life points equal to the attack it had on the field. You cannot activate these effects in the same chain. So yeah, that's basically what I mainly use this card for. If Winged Dragon of Ra is about to be destroyed, I activate 1 with the Sun God, so I gain the life points back that Winged Dragon of Ra had as attack. So it's a little bit of a health boost. And finally, just as 2 tech cards, I'm running 1 Solemn Strike and 1 Solemn Warning. Doesn't really need explaining. So the extra deck, yeah, pretty much the extra deck you're not going to be going for much unless, in my opinion, it's these 2 cards. Like I said, some people might have different strategies, but I think pretty much in every deck you are going to be wanting to run 3 Egyptian God Slime. This card is crazy good for this deck, especially if you've got either Guardian Slime or Metal Reflex Slime. So you can just fusion summon using either one of these cards. And of course, if you use Guardian Slime, you get Guardian Slime's effect, where you can add a card which lists the Winged Dragon of Ra in its text. So, pretty good going. And the other card I run is Link Kuribo, because we are running we are running a level 1. So the combo would be Crystal Girl activates effect, and then go into a Link Kuribo. So that can like do some stall work by well, you contribute this card, change that monster's attack to 0 until the end of the turn. So it helps protection as well. So there has been my Egyptian God deck profile. Now there are a couple of other cards which I do have on the side, which I'll explain. So the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix, I did have this originally for this burial, but most of the time I didn't actually, I don't know, most of the time I didn't actually end up using it. So that's why I put it in the side deck, along with a third Winged Dragon of Ra, because the thing with Ancient Chant and also Millennium Revolution, I'm actually getting Winged Dragon of Ra very frequently to my hand without actually having a third one. So personally, I think it actually creates a better engine, only having 2 Winged Dragon of Ra, better consistency. Same for Reactor Slime. I was running 3, but I think 2 might be more consistent. Then a couple of other cards which I was considering running. Card D, I was mainly thinking about running this just for the draw engine. Then Effect Veiler, just a negation effect. Double Summon, I kept it at 1 mainly because of Ancient Chant. Upstart Goblin, I was originally running this, but I thought with Pot of Duality, I think that'd probably be enough. Same thing there. And the last card is Infinite Impermanence. Now, the thing with Solemn Strike and Solemn Warning, these cards, UK price-wise, especially since Solemn Strike was printed in a structure deck, Solemn Strike is probably maybe about the £3 or £4 mark, but Infinite Impermanence is probably still like the 10 to 15 mark. Now, I do admit, quite a lot of these cards aren't going to be cheap. I especially think Egyptian God Slime, I think this is probably going to be the hardest card to get from Legendary Duelist Rage of Ra. And of course, Crystal Gold isn't even out yet. My guess, we'll either get it in Maximum Gold, the March set, or Battles of Legend next year. That'll be my guess. But yeah, that'll be my guess. Maximum Gold might be a bit unlikely, so I think more than likely we'll probably get it next year in March or Battles of Legend. That'll be my guess. But yes, so there has been my Winged Dragon. So that has been my Egyptian God deck profile. Yes, it's not the best deck in the world. I'm not gonna lie. It's nowhere near tier 0. If you're wondering what I was testing this against, I was testing this against a ABC deck to make sure it was a fairly competitive deck. So just to make sure it was under relatively competitive circumstances. So I suppose one other question is, will I be doing more of these in the future? I'm not going to say that I don't think this will be a regular occurrence. I do probably plan to make a Charmer deck profile next month for the release of the Charmer structure deck. But then after that, I'm not sure. The next one might actually be the Draginity structure deck next year, where I'll probably do a big update. But yeah, so there has been a deck profile there has been a God card deck profile for, I guess, September/October 2020, even though Crystal Gold isn't out yet. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it should be quite fun to try and hunt these cards down. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, then please make sure to like this video and subscribe to know when my newest videos will be coming out. I hope you've enjoyed, and for now, this is SliferKing, signing out.